and I
finally got a real provider.
Yeah, we're back.
Nice.
Hey. Yeah, well, Stim was talking to me the other day about stream quality and how crappy my stream is, and I was just like, well, maybe I should just check and see if we have anything else available. I checked like AT&T fiber available. It's like, bam.
Okay.
And so Friday, yeah, it's like I'm getting 100 up, 100 down, and I'm currently getting 10 down and 1.5 up. So
man, that's rough.
That sucks for streaming, right?
Yeah. Apparently, we're audio only. No, we look good.
There's it.
Yeah, we're dropping some frames. Yeah, that's all. Just dropping a few frames.
That's not terrible.
That's not a big deal for a podcast.
Yeah. I'll get it sorted out. I've been having some issues with my Switch, and
so Stim was talking about getting grief there.
Yeah. So anyway, I was not getting grief. Clearly, I was not getting grief. I was just, it's this week. It's people trying to earn their stuff, and I thought, what, I could try and get past it, or I could just spawn my 890 jump, and they can try and fire at me as much as they want.
Yeah.
So that's what
that's
I did.
the way to go about it.
You got out.
Yeah, so
nobody in a Gladius is going to try and take you out.
No Gladius is taking out an 890.
They tried.
Yeah, they'll try. They won't succeed. But,
my shields made a pretty light show.
The whole part about being in safe space in your capital ship with your twin capital shields, like you just kind of like laugh at them. Even if you're not in safe space, you just kind of laugh at them.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Mike, what kind of people were you going after for your PvP? Were you?
I was going after a combination. Can you hear me? Because you cut out a little bit. Oh, I have no audio for Joe. I can't hear him
either. Yeah.
What is happening? Maybe it's like a global thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a sunspot.
I hear you, Stim.
Yeah, I can hear you too. No problem.
Weird. Well, anyway, to answer his question, I hope he can hear me. The type of people I was going after was just everybody. Starting out at GrimHex, fighting a few people. I was lucky that I had one of, I asked like, hey, I don't know how to PvP. So the PvPers that know what they're doing, like, help me out, teach me a few things. And one of the guys stopped by. We rolled together, just him and I. He taught me a few little tricks, and I started killing people then. We were at GrimHex. So that's like where it's PvPers, right? PvPers are hanging out at GrimHex. Everybody knows they're fighting each other. But then once it's unique kills. So once you kill one, you don't want to kill them over and over again because you're wasting your time. So then I would start going to like the frequent mining spots, and I would take out a few people that were unexpecting. And then if I went to jail, I'd come back and I would look for bounties. So you would take people out that were now criminals. So it was like the opposite side. So a little bit of everything.
All right.
It's pretty much how I did it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. I think we should move towards sort of ending the stream. So let's figure out who we're going to raid. We also want to, if we can do a couple Q&As, that would be really good. There's a few questions I want to dive into, so we'll do that. The other thing is, let's get the giveaway going for the rock. I think it's been open for entering. If you haven't entered for the rock, go ahead and do that. It's bang ship me. That's ! Ship me, all one word, to get in on that. And let's dive into the questions real quick. Okay, so the first one comes from Jay the Brown via the website. Jay asks, base building when? It looks amazing. This also refers to the Pioneer. That's a when question, Jay. You should know better than that. We don't know. We could pretend to be CIG.
Whenever they say it is, 6 months from then.
At least. And that's the thing, like, we're not even going to know what the roadmap, once the roadmap comes out, what they've shown us it's going to be, it's just going to be, sprints on what they're working on, right? And two-week parcels. That doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah. So you guys are more understanding of this stuff. The idea of what's happening is it's going to be a snapshot of what's happening at the moment. So it gives them a really good opportunity to not have to look so far in the future anymore, which I think is a good thing.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But it also, it
does quell hype.
It quells hype, but it also creates uncertainty. So, we always show the roadmap. We like Odysseus Ithaca's roadmap because it's really nice graphical. It's well done. So, but now we'll show the, whether he does a version for the sprint report or however it's done. It's just we can see what people are working on. It's not really great content to talk about unless there's something that hasn't been worked on in a while that, all of a sudden it gets a little bit of love, or it's, unless we can somehow have progress on that. I mean, maybe there's progress. So maybe we can still see that there's, 75 of 112 things to be done. And maybe we can like work on some, momentum trading to figure out if it's coming out. I don't know. We'll have to see. Theory crafting in the meta at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mad Stelic asks via the website, in quotations, the briefing room was created as a response to March's criticism on lack of updates regarding Squadron 42. That's an assumption. Does the briefing room solve this criticism? Arguably, I feel the briefing room does exactly what CIG says they intend to avoid, which is spoil game content. So the question in there is, does it solve the criticism that we were seeing in February or March in the lack of updates from Squadron 42? Who wants to take a first shot at that?
And am I back?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
I caught most of what you were saying earlier, and I managed to get back. My internet's dropping a little bit. But like we said earlier, I don't think that they answered a lot of what people want to hear. I think that Squadron 42 is pretty far along, but we've still got a ways to go. I think that the briefing room didn't give everybody what they want, and they're not going to get that.
Yeah. We all want to know like where the project is.
Yeah. When is it coming out? It's like, where are they in it? I think with the new roadmap, we'll have a much better visibility into what they're working on. But I don't know how much more it'll be than the Squadron 42 monthly report, because we get a pretty in-depth report of individual things that they're working on. Doesn't really give us an idea of where that is in the development process. So I think with the quarterly briefing room, those of us who are really following with a microscope will pull out those pieces of data that will give us a feel for where they are, like those two comments by the two devs on Saturday that basically all of the scenes are done. Most all of the content is done. Now they just have to refine all the gameplay within.
Is it fun? Is now that part, right?
Yeah. Like how does everything tie together? How do you go through the missions? Is everything working smoothly? And that could be a year. I mean, that could be more.
Easily.
It could be 6 months.
And Mike's comment on is the gameplay fun? I mean, people often they think about level design, they think about the soundtrack, they think about all that stuff, but the gameplay, the actual is it fun? Star Citizen is something that they've been at least in the PU, they've been balancing a lot of that, and we constantly see things improve. Like the inventory system is going through massive improvements. The UI has gone through massive improvements. Those are all elements.
Flight,
right?
Combat.
Oh my god, yeah.
Flight,
hover mode and all that
model.
kind of stuff. Those are all iterations towards the playability of the game, and until they have that dialed in, it's not going to be a great user experience for the players, and we don't want that. And as far as I'm concerned, now this is my personal opinion, I'm sure people will completely and utterly disagree, or at least a large number of people will, but for me, I don't necessarily need a lens into the development of Squadron 42. Like a roadmap 100%. Is good, like the roadmap roundup I'm happy with, just to say like overall what they've worked on, but I don't need to see like each sprint what they're working on.
We don't need ISC for Squadron 42. I don't think that is what is good for Squadron 42 at all. I don't know. ISC, like maybe we just like subscribe too much and they don't know what to do with the money, so they make another show. But I thought it. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know what the answer is besides exactly what Jeroen said. They're not going to tell you when the game comes out. Yeah. Right. Like they're just not going to say it, and that's really what people need, because it's the game everybody's waiting for to come out. So Star Citizen can get pushed along a little bit more and get a little bit more priority, I guess, is at least that's my mentality on it. And I think a lot of people share that as well, is the main driver for marketing has been Star Citizen over the last 5 years, right? So it's kind of, that's what people are going to be in general more interested in. So a lot of people are like, all right, get the Squadron 42 out the door, even though huge Wing Commander fan, want to play the game, like very excited for Squadron, but I'm also really excited for SC.
So at Thrakazog has won the Grey Cat Rock LTI.
Ooh,
Kara Starlet.
Congrats. Congrats.
Are they here? That's the question.
I think they just redrew. T Neister just redrew.
Okay.
Oh,
Guns and Glue.
Guns and Glue. You've won something already. Are you there?
Ooh, Guns and Glue. Congrats, man.
WinRAR, says Captain Richard. Love it, man. Guns and Glue, where are you?
Is Guns and Glue there? Guns and Glue, are you here?
Gosh, we just redid the stream. People should still be here. We lost like
everybody left
50 people as soon as we redid the stream. At least
like,
it's good to see.
Stream died. There's Guns and Glue.
SaltEMike, I'm Guns and Glue. Sure you are. There he is. All right, man. So
message me in the Discord and I'll get you hooked up.
He'll get you sorted out. He'll connect you up with Starlet and get that sorted out for you. Awesome. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, Gildark Fantasy says via Twitch, he or she or they are putting together a serious HOTAS chair for this game and get the Warthog controls. Very nice.
Ooh, he went with Warthog.
Yeah. I have, by the way, a Warthog flight stick. If anybody wants it and are serious and want to pay me for it, I'm not using it. It's barely been used. Happy to send it to you.
Did you get a Verpal or a VKB?
No, I'm just using the T16000s. I've got the full setup, like both sticks and.
Nice.
You're choosing a T16000 over a Warthog?
No twist. No twist.
Because there's no twist.
He's a twister.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm a twister.
He's a twister. I got used to the pedals, man.
You have to have twist.
People have been talking about this pedals, but the thing is, like, I want both sticks to be the same. And the only person on the planet that I know that has a left-hand Warthog is Noobifire.
Yes,
right.
He's only left-hand
I want one too.
Warthog.
And I wrote to the guy that does them, and he basically
VKB,
he never responded back. Yeah, so I've got to look at VKBs, but I'm not ready yet. So I don't play the game enough right now to put the money into it.
VKB Gladiators for $160. They are fantastic.
Their entry level ones are fairly affordable and they're really pretty good.
Okay.
They look amazing. Fat Lou just got a pair, and like that's what I want. Yeah,
nice. Okay.
I'm not ready for a $400, $500, $600 flight stick, but $160, that's on my list for at some point. And,
especially when you see your friends, they're all breaking these $400 or $500 sticks. They're breaking them all. It's like
the Verpils,
the alphas, they're all breaking and stuff.
Oh my god, it's so sad.
Are those the Verpils?
Yes,
so the
so many people have the
RMA,
the alphas, like all the way back to wherever they're from in Eastern Europe or something. And that was one of the things that the VKBs, people weren't buying VKBs because they didn't have twist, and now the VKB has twist with the Gunslinger Mark III. So Wild Track, who is one of our Jump Clubber Yacht Clubbers, he's bought every single one. He had the Mark II, the VKB Mark II, you got the Verpal Alphas, and then you got the VKB Gunslinger Mark IIIs, and so he's tried all of them. And he says that the Mark III VKB gunslingers are by far the best build quality.
Wow.
It's got a shorter base, so you can put them on your desk. You don't have to have them on a mount. And the mounts get in the way of your chair. So it's like, that's one of the things I don't like about that.
Yeah.
So if you're in that very high-end flight stick market, VKB Mark III Gunslinger, top of the line, best there is.
To be completely transparent, I'm not sponsored by, but partnered with Monster Tech. So like they'll send stuff out sometimes. But I saw, just to know, because the guy mentioned a chair, I saw a tweet from Noobifire. I don't know anything about this chair, but Noobifire tweeted out a Monster Tech chair that has the center in between your legs cut out. for a stick. Very cool looking.
That's pretty crazy.
So I don't know if that's like a real product. I haven't checked or anything, but he said he was going to be testing it.
Those Monster Tech mounts are awesome.
I was talking to Shausen earlier, and I was saying that I want to get the Monster Tech the mount for the like the big screens. I've got a big 50-inch screen here, so I want to mount that, and then I want to get 2 additional side things. And it's kind of, so I mean, Monster Tech's great. I've got the 2. If you can look back here, I've got 2. They're all black, anodized black aluminum.
And Gunslinger says he's got the Monster Tech chair mounts, and they're amazing.
Yeah, Monster Tech's great. They're not cheap. I tell you that. You pay more for these mounts than you do for the actual.
Than you do your stick.
Yeah. But
unless you go the high-end sticks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, really worth it.
But if you're going T16s, you're paying more than for your stick. But they'll last. So.
Yeah, but you know when like.
But I agree with Chirun. They get in the way.
Point. Yeah, they definitely do. I can't fit a chair underneath that.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's move on. Let's actually answer that question. So let me read the question again. So Gildark Fantasy asks, I am putting together a serious hotel chair for this game and get the Warthog controls. Any other suggestions other than the Warthog setup? Well, I think we probably answered it there.
Oh, we did. Yeah, Jarun did it good with the VKB.
Yeah, nice one.
Or for you, the T16s. To get to.
If you're starting off cheap, those T16,000s are great. I think it's
absolutely
a little over $100 and you get both of them. And
it's $50-$60 for one, or 110 for 2, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's the best value for money, 100%. But if you're ready to enter into the serious, big boys club, as we like to call it, big boys and girls club,
VKB Gladiators at 160 or the next one's up when they're available. They're not always available, and then up from there.
And is that 160 per stick?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at like 2.3 times the price, per stick.
Yeah, but what I want to do is I want to keep the T16,000 left hand because it doesn't need to have super precision and be fantastic, and get a Gladiator for the right hand, and that's
what you're aiming with.
Buttons. Yeah, right, exactly. So it's got better precision. But the biggest problem that I have are the joystick buttons, where you only get 3 buttons and 1 trigger on the 16,000, and that's why I am still using I hate to say cheap, crappy Logitech.
That's the best stick. I was looking for mine.
I hate this thing. I love it and I hate it.
It's the best thumb, and it's the most ergonomic on your hand.
It is, and it feels fantastic.
It's so good.
It's got a trigger. It's got a thumb trigger. It's got 4 thumb buttons,
and it's like $5.
It's 40. It's $40. I've had this thing for almost 4 years, and I love the ergonomics. I love the extra buttons because Star Citizen has 500 billion controls, and especially now with the targeting controls, you've got 6 trillion targeting controls.
Yeah.
But what I hate about this is that it is very wobbly, so you have to have like 10% dead zone, and so it's not great for dogfighting. So I want to replace that with a Gladiator someday.
Whereas this,
if you're a Captain Richard fan, buy a Logitech X56. Okay.
The side tech. So this is an extremely great. This is the Warthog, main one. Like you can hear how high quality that is, and it feels
well built.
Feels great in your hand, but it is
like a rock.
Yeah,
but no twist.
It's a solid.
My whole camera shakes when it recenters. My whole desk shakes.
Coffee Gaming says his X52 is near 20 years old.
Wow.
That's well built.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next question. Now, this one was raised by moderator real quick, just to say, and I'm going to ask it. I think we've answered this last one, but your name change that you went through. Are you prepared to give us a little oversight on that? This is asked by Anon, very innocently.
Sure. I mean, for people who don't know, my first name was Twerk17. Twerk17. So if there was any reason to change my name, it was because my name was Twerk17.
I think like 17?
Well, here's the thing. When you're at work and all your friends are talking about streaming now because it's become a more popular thing,
Right.
and they're all talking about it, and you're like, wow, I really want to get in this conversation, but I don't want to tell my work friends that my name is Twerk17 because then they're going to start thinking weird things. Like, what are they going to think about me? What do you do when you're not at work? Like,
you're twerking or something, I guess.
Yeah, like here's the original name came from this, and why I never expected to stream. I just all the names that I would normally take were gone, and twerking was popular at the time, and my ex and her friend were literally standing behind me doing it as a joke, and I was like, all right, twerk, and then my baseball number was 17, and
so
that was
it actually came from twerking.
It did really come from it.
All right, okay.
But and then eventually, like, your stream starts to grow, and it's like, you know, there was a sponsorship opportunity when I was in Redacted. Everybody got the sponsorship but me.
Oh no.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was like things like that. It was never to change. The real reason to change was the thing that changed my mind was the work situation. But that started the, like, man, I should really do something about this. This is stupid. But then the work thing, like, I got this new job. All these people play video games, and I can't talk to them about it. And now we talk about streaming all the time.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It's fun. Like, they stop by the channel. Yeah.
So here's the next question: when are you going to change from salty?
Never. Nah, never. I think
it's like. Do you feel that that's like really your identity as a salty person? Or
no,
like
no.
Like,
but it is cool. There's a coolness factor to saying, yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's a good brand. It's a fair brand. I like it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's
I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, I do see what happens where people. I created this perception for myself and the way I felt about the project. Like, there was a certain part of this time where I was like, man, I'm really disappointed with what's going on. And there's things that I get disappointed with now, and I express those opinions, and I'm always going to. But people will look at the name, and then they just assume. Like, even going back to, like, the little things like the Montoya video that, like, this whole little thing, little friendly back and forth between me and him. He just watched, like, a small clip and then assumes the opinion of it, right? It's sort of the same thing that's going on, is that people see the name, assume that that's how I always am, and it's not how I always am. But it's
kind of it's a brand identity that's kind of created around that.
I guess I don't know, man. I turn on my stream and I like hanging out with people. I don't look at anything with, like, branding, right? Like, I don't sell T-shirts. I don't do any of that stuff. And I don't look at myself as a brand, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, well, and it does, and so I mean, Stim and I have branding conversations a lot because I mean, I'm in sales. I've been in sales and marketing my entire life, and Stim's been in marketing and whatnot. And we talk about branding is important because it conveys a lot of messaging in what your brand says. And
I see how my name does that. I can see how.
And I never really viewed you before as a salty person. I know you went through a salty phase, and a lot of my brand, a lot of my brand is Joran is. It's like anti-salt. Like I am salty about salty people, and so from an identity, it's like we've had beers together. You live down the road from me. It's like we should go hang out again someday when we can all like actually see people in real life again. And you're a great guy, and you turn out some great content. So it was just it's an interesting conversation. As personalities and as Star Citizens, and as our identities and feelings about the projects change over time, because
Crazy Canuck has redeemed that you stop monologuing. I'll just pop in there real quick.
This is the best use of channel points.
This is good content, and this is great feedback, right? From like a branding perspective.
T-Neister's a genius.
Starship Captain Nemo's saying there that your history of being salty is one of those things that's kind of put him off your show in a while. And then of course, now that you've got that name, it's been there. I just simply responded back saying, if you haven't watched it in a while, Go check it out lately. He's not salty these days. He's very passionate in the way he explains things. But when I think of Salt, I think of someone that is negative about the project, that is so frustrated that they need to vent online. And you can tell when Mike does it, there's passion behind that. You know that it's motivated by the right reasons. And sure, sometimes it's a little bit on the salty side, but I got to say, lately, I haven't been seeing that from you. So it's, I think it's been really good. I think you've been, and that being said, our sort of Care Bear, like we have a lot of Care Bears on the stream, and that's kind of how we are. I don't want us to get into groupthink either. I don't want us to, give
really
CIG a free pass on everything the way it's going on. We want them to learn, and constructive feedback is the way that they're going to learn and adapt and change. So everything that's being done, provided it's constructive, is really positive. And if we get into groupthink, we're not giving them any of that feedback they need to improve things. So, man, it's like, don't be careful to take the way that people do comments. I'm sure you got a thick skin by this point, but I think it's
I do, but I don't. It's so weird. I don't know why comments on the internet, they do. They don't get to me, but I do get zoned in on them for a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the thing is, we tend to, those of us that really care a lot about what we're doing and are looking for, that feedback and trying to improve, we put a lot of our sort of happiness in the feedback we get from others, probably too much than we should. But at the same time, it shows that we are, doing it for the right reasons. It shows that we actually care about the input. I mean, we're making massive changes to the Yacht Club, especially in the Discord and stuff like that. And, we're doing our best to make those changes. We're getting great feedback from people saying it's going on. And, we're also trying to make sure that we don't make the wrong changes. So it's the very fact that you care enough to that it will affect you shows that you're the right person to be streaming, the right person to be reporting on the news. It's one of the things that I was saying to Xylo as well about just the way he works. And it's funny. I'll disclose this to you guys very quickly. I went to the doctor and I said, Doc, I really want to have kids. But I'm not sure if I'm the right kind of person to do it, right? It's going to change my life. I got to make serious changes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be a good dad. And he looked at me and he said, well, the very fact that you are worried about that and that, this is a question that you felt strong enough to ask in addition to whatever you were there at the doctor's office for, is something that he said, it means you're probably going to be a good dad. So just, keep it up and when that time comes, blah, blah, blah. So, same kind of thing. That's a bit more of an extreme example, but streaming all your life and doing this as a hobby or for work, it's also a big life decision. So,
yeah. I do everything I do as a hobby. I do everything I do as a hobby. If it ends up turning into work, then that would be the happiest day of my life. But I don't go into it trying to turn it into work.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Yeah, and we're in the same spot. We're not turning this to work, or at least I'm not. Jordan has a little bit more of his channel going that way, but I think it's really more hobby focused. We're all just focusing on making this the best damn sim and community we can.
I just want to have fun.
For me, Star Citizen is my entire life. So it's like just more ways of me being able to interact with all my friends and do stuff and.
Exactly.
Sure. My obsession with other people. Stellic had a comment. I feel like people are misusing salt and triggered and toxic. You can be salty and still be supportive and constructive. Stellic's a good friend of mine. He and I were lead volunteers in Austin, and I've gotten to know him well over the years in the various communities that we share, and he's one of the original backers, and he's got some of that residual salt, like we talked about the last time that you were on the show, over certain things that CIG has done over the years where they suck at communication, they suck at managing expectations, but they're great at delivering amazing. And it's definitely valid for those people to carry those feelings about those areas where CIG doesn't deliver as well as we would like them to, because I think all of us want them to do better, and all of us want them to fix those deficiencies that they've had, and please the backers as best they can. You'll never, like Chris said, it's like we'll never be able to please everybody. We'll never be able to provide all the content that everyone wants, because some people want fast, flashy, short visual content, and then some people want really long, deep, in-depth, like meaty technical content. And it's like then you have everybody in between, and like it's impossible to please all those people.
It's the one. One of the cool things about the game is this is the one game that's certainly going to freaking try to please everybody, right? Like with
they're sure trying.
Certainly trying. We'll see what happens. But
yeah, we've got our 10-minute ISCs, and we've got our 10-page long monthly reports.
Right. Right. Okay, so we've got one more question, and it's mostly for SaltEMike. I know you are a collector like me. This comes from His Divine Shadow. How would you like the gameplay around super rare or unique items implemented in the universe that players can only get in game? So how would you like the gameplay around super rare items that you can only get in the game?
Well, in Star Citizen, it's kind of weird, right? Because it's not like an MMO that's going to have, I don't know, like instanced raids or anything, right? But I think the idea behind it is rare items would maybe, oh man, it just comes down to, it's so hard to think about because we don't know what Star Citizen is going to look like at this stage. But I'll give an example of what I would think, right? You go to whatever system that the Vandal attacked in Squadron 42, and let's say that's still a system that Vandal Vega that they're patrolling, right? So you go to Vega, there's a large amount of Vandal there, right? And you go there and you farm Vandal for a while, and then you go to a certain area and there's even harder and harder, and then one place is where the hardest guys are. And if you get lucky and you disable one or you kill one, they might have some cargo or something like that. One rare item, a rare weapon, a rare knife, a rare helmet. It could be anything, right? That's how I see it, is it would take a bit of game knowledge, a bit of skill, and a bit of luck, right? I think those three things would probably be the most important. And then with those three things, do whatever you like, is how I look at it, right? And apply that to any aspect of the game, whether it be mining, cargo hauling, salvaging, right? Because rare items can be anything. Is finding that stuff in a cave, right? Maybe you just get lucky and find it in a random cave. Something, it could be anything, but not the way they did the Vandal mask.
and then Gildark Fantasy asks, or really makes a statement here that I thought is worth mentioning. It says they think there should be both, so rare skills, like in addition to items, both rare skills as well.
But there are no skills in the game.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I wanted to bring it up.
Maybe rare blades.
Maybe like flourishes, maybe rare like actions or emotes, something like that. I mean, how would that even work?
I think just more like rare trophies to find. Like you go somewhere and there's like something unique.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make you better. It has to be unique.
Yeah, like skins, basically skins in terms of emotes.
Or just something to put on a shelf. That's one of the things
shelf of things.
Exactly, and that's like the Pico, and the turtles, and these things that you can find and collect. And Chris talked about that. That I'm going to the far distance places in the universe and collecting these things, and like the hangar flare that we had before we had a universe, and you had these trophy cases, and you had the Vandal trophy and these things.
You said the fish tank. Imagine finding rare fish around from all different planets, right?
Exactly. And how many people are obsessed with tracking down rare fish for their fish tanks?
That would be absolutely
little
amazing.
Things like that. Rare plants, flowers.
That would be super cool.
So many ways.
Pets. It's like I want rare pets.
Captain Richard misses Mr. Crab. Yeah,
Mr. Crab.
Yeah, we need that crab back. Maybe we need another
crab back.
Another video.
We're gonna have some big crabs in Pyro.
true. The
Big
type of
deadly crabs.
The type of game that they're building allows for all sorts of cool collector type stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It can go from just going to visiting a certain landing zone to being lucky and finding something in a cave to who knows. I mean, maybe there's boats or something crazy later down the line where you literally go. If this is an MMO and there's not fishing. I know. Listen, I don't want to add anything to this game, but if you're making an MMO and there's not fishing, Chris, there's a problem. Okay,
we gotta have fishing. Fish off a pier, off the side of our 890.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. That sounds like a good place to stop, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. That was.
I'm glad we had a little bit longer show than we planned because we had a lot to talk about. And Mike, it's been great having you on. Like great conversations.
Yeah,
and
get you guys on mine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to get on your show sometime. What are you on, Saturdays or Sundays?
Sunday mornings, so like 10 a.m. Eastern. That's Sunday 7 a.m.
Yeah, I'll make it for your show. That'll work. It's Sunday. It's not Saturday. If it's Saturday, I'd say nah.
Yeah.
Sunday I can make that happen. I've had a chance to sleep in on Friday night, so that's good.
Would love to come on this Sunday. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing this Sunday because I haven't figured it out yet. But I always like to have something like pre-planned. So I'll think of something. We'll have something really fun to talk about, and I'm gonna get you two guys on.
Give us a heads up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Since I last came on, I was all jumbled and all over the place, but I got to get you guys on. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
More conversations with you guys.
Yep.
So
good hanging out.
Upcoming tomorrow on Thursday, we've got our shenanigans going on. So please feel free to join us. We meet here in the Discord. We've got a party. We call it the party deck. So we can meet there and hang out. That starts at 8:45 Eastern time. If you want to join us there. Also on the weekend, 8:45 Eastern time, we're doing something. We are also, we are now operating the 890 Jump for the Hurston Hurt Locker event that's happening on the 24th. So we'll be streaming that on the 24th. There's no Bar Citizens going on this weekend that are in physical. So definitely the only way to do it is to come and hang out with us. Also, guys, Sigelian has started flying the Yacht Club colors and is doing streaming almost every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to jump on with him, he organizes a bunch of cargo runs. So you can jump on that. It's another way you can kind of get involved for some gameplay time.
And our EU shenanigans organized by Mintake on Thursday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Central European time or 7 p.m. UTC, Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yeah, and I believe that's also somewhere kind of around the same time that Sigelian does stuff. So if you're in the EU, hit up Mintake.
It's just after.
Is it just after? Oh, perfect. So you can roll from one to the other if you want to play and get going.
Lots of stuff going on for the community.
Great. So upcoming shows on the 28th, we have Andy Lee and Draken from Game Glass. They're going to be telling us about what's exciting and it's been going on with them. They've got some new things to announce. That's pretty exciting. I just hooked up. I went in and backed Game Glass right at the beginning, and I just finally redeemed my lifetime access code. And that's been a ton of fun. Maybe what I'll do is maybe next show when that's going on, if they don't have any giveaways, I'm sure they will, but if they don't, I'll give away my friend access code, which is 6 months of Game Pass. And then at least we'll have one giveaway for Game Pass. We'll make that happen. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Again, SaltEMike, thanks for joining us. It's been a great show. We're going to raid somebody tonight. We're raiding Deadeye. And it's cool because Deadeye has, I believe, his
Deadeye or Meowther? Meower?
Is it changed?
Meower.
Okay, we're rating Meower.
Yep,
he has one viewer. Okay, let's do it. Let's jump in there.
Yes.
Absolutely scare the pants off him.
Give him some love.
Yeah. Perfect, guys. Thanks so much.
Good night, everybody. Great hanging out with y'all.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye now.
There they go.